Hello everyone, welcome to Plant Manager's webinar. Plant Manager is a production planning and control software where we can schedule our orders, reschedule it. Based on that we can make production entries and we get proper reports on the basis of that. So this particular software, you can use it for production planning of your orders on the shop floor. So precisely you get to know on what machine, what job card you have to do, from what time to which time, and how much quantity you have to make. So based on that you can allocate the machine operators and do your production entries, and once those are done, you get revised delivery dates based on that. So those who use Plant Manager software, we claim that they can get solutions to some of the questions as shown in the slide. So some basic questions that I would just share with you is like, how do I ensure that my machines are optimally used? How can I get each operator's productivity? When there is any unscheduled downtime, what will be new delivery date? We have a new order, when can we deliver it? And can I get today's schedule? So these basic questions you can get solutions to by using Plant Manager software. There are many other questions that you might be having. What is my today's schedule? Based on that, what would be my consolidated schedule? Like, I want to give it to my management. So based on that, they will take a decision if we need to procure a new machine or not. So some of these questions can also be answered if you use Plant Manager software. So let us show you how we can go ahead with Plant Manager system. Any queries if you have, you can directly write it on our chat box, or you can directly mail us the queries on sales@plantmanager.in. So we would like to answer your queries, and let us go ahead with that. So once you decide, you can just go to login. You will get your own username, password and company code. So once you log in, a typical page of dashboard will open up. Now here you can see last 30 days overview, like machine utilization, operator efficiency, order status, in time or overdue orders, rejection analysis, rework analysis based on the entries that you make and the planning that the system has done. You can also get the percentage completion rate of your job cards. So these are typically the job cards, and for December 2, job card number December 2, 55% is completed. So this is how you get to know how much percentage my job cards are completed. So which job card you have to expedite, and you can take decisions based on that. You also get to know next 7 days overview on resource allocation, where you can see how much my machines are loaded right now. So here you can see my machine number 5 is completely loaded for next 7 days at least, and you can see my machine number 7 drop A25 is not that much loaded from 17th onwards. So you can always pour in more orders. You can make pressure on your sales team that okay, we want more orders to improve our machine utilization, and based on that you can get complete allocation. You can improve your allocation based on these decisions. So this is typically a dashboard where you can also see how many orders are in pipeline, how many are completed, how many are pending, how many are planned, how many are in scheduled status, how many are in process. Whatever masters you create for machines and products, you can also see those. So just to take you through the system flow, we have 7 tabs, as you can see. From these tabs you can see, input your masters. You can input your company details, departments, your roles and users, and give privileges to them. You can have n number of users, so there is no limitation on number of users that you can have. You can obviously assign which user will use what feature of this software based on these privileges pages. You can always select what machines, what are the shifts that you work in. So these are the in the shift master. So this is the shift master, where you declare your shifts. You can declare your machine operations that you do on any product. What are your machine names in machine details? You can obviously state your any preventive maintenance plan you have. You can always tell it to the system. The system will not schedule on those preventive maintenance dates, or if that is a time of 12 hours or so, the system will not schedule on that speculated time. So you can always give these details in machine master. In product master, you can create your products. So you typically declare that for any product, what is my raw material that I am going to use, what is the conversion. Suppose for one component I require half kg of raw material, so I declare that in my product details. I also declare my sequence of machine operations that I conduct to manufacture that particular product. So we declare product details, we declare products in our product details. You can always say on which machine what is my cycle time for the product. Then in inventory you can say what is my raw material, what is my warehouse. Any raw material procurement vendor or any outsourcing vendor, you can declare it in your vendor master. So that's how this vendor can be added. There are customer masters as well. One feature I would like to highlight you on this. You can give a username and password to your customer, where if he log in from that using that username and password, he can only view his orders in your database. So he can primarily understand what is the status of the orders that he has given to you. This is not a mandatory option, obviously, but we have the facility of that as well, so that your tracking improves. We can always input our weekly offs and any national holidays that we have, so system will not schedule on those days. These are my downtime remarks that I have to input in my master. I have to do some system settings where if I'm going to use stores function or not, if I'm bypassing that, if whatever planning settings I can do, I can input it here. Whatever sorting of the orders I want, maybe as per my order insertion sequence or date, delivery date wise, I can declare those in my system settings. You can also communicate through plant manager with other departments by giving them email privileges. So suppose a sales guy inputs an order in this plant manager system, your production team and the stores team has to understand, okay, an order has been inserted in the system, so they have to plan for their machines and material accordingly. So these particular communications you can control by giving these email privileges to those. We also have some import facilities like through Excel. So you can obviously import all the masters by Excel. You can import all orders by Excel. You can import GRNs, and you can take a data backup from by exporting the masters. So these import masters and import order masters and import GRN, you can directly use these features if you have any other ERP. So from that ERP, you can directly take out your data, like as in orders that you have in your ERP. You can directly take those orders in an Excel file. You can copy paste those orders as per the required format in our system, in our Excel, and just upload it. And this is the plant manager will get updated with that. So this is how we can import. This is our administration tab, where we have to create masters. Coming to daily operations, once we have created the masters, now is how we are going to use the plant manager software for scheduling and production entries. So as a first step, I would say that we have to go to in order input section, where either your production planning guy or your sales manager or sales executives in different zones can directly input the orders here. So if I go to customer section and order input, I can directly go to add order here. I would say, okay, this is my Jan 21st is my sales order number, or any other PO number from the customer side. You can input it here. Whatever customer name you have, you can just input that. Whichever product you have, this is my favorite product, so I would just say that, okay, this 91 shaft 9991 is my product code for that. So this is my P1 shaft. I want to put an order of 250 quantity over in this order. Whatever, if I want, I can just give my delivery dates as per which I have committed to the customers. I can input that as well. I can obviously say, okay, this is urgent order or whatever it is. When you click on show current dates, current completion dates, these two dates you can see that till 5th of May, my machines are totally occupied based on the orders which I have already in the system. So obviously I am prioritizing this particular order number and I want it to be completed by 20th. So that's how I can override these dates and give a priority accordingly. The system will give priority accordingly. So this is my order which I am inserting, Jan 21, this is my ISO number, I would just submit. So your salesperson or your project manager or your production planner can input these orders from here. You can also use this import order masters with this Excel file to directly import n number of orders in the system. So once you input the order, your stores guy and production can be directly notified based on the email privileges that you give. And now you have to select machines. Now I would go to planning and pending orders section, where I can see that this is my job card, my SO number which I have just inserted in the system, and I have given 20th as my delivery date. Now you cannot see any expected date or delay here because I have not allocated any machines. So this is what I am going to do next. So I have to go to machines. For the first time of the lifetime of the product, you have to select on what machine which operation you are going to do. So system understands that, and based on that system will schedule. And keep it in mind, keep it in memory. So next time when you come up with any new order of this particular product, the machines will be automatically selected. So you don't need to you don't need to go on this page and select the orders. Only thing you need to do is like updating your job card number. I would say, okay, this is my Feb 1, so I would change it to my February, and my job card would be number 1. Then I have to select the machines. I have to say on that what is my capacity of the machine. So I can always say that, okay, so my loading time was 30 seconds, my machining time is 1 minute, and unloading is 10 seconds. So I can always input that in this capacity calculator, and once I do that, the system completely calculates. So on 24 hours basis, how much is your capacity based on what cycle time you have input. So you have selected the machine, you have input, you have updated your cycle time. Now you have to update your setup time as well. So whatever setup time in hours, minutes and seconds, you can input it here. Now once we do it, I have selected, you can see I have selected 2 machines here. Now this machine is busy till 4th March, this is busy till 7th of March. So I have clicked on use first available machine only. So if I click this, the system will automatically see which machine is first available. So you don't need to manually go and, okay, this machine is available and I'm going to select this. You don't need to do that. You can just select whichever machines are capable of doing this operation. You can directly select all those, input their cycle times and setup times, and click on use first available machine only. So system sees which machine is available and allocates this job card to that machine. In this particular, for this particular product, I have cutting, then turning, then heat treatment, then buffing and hardness testing. So when for heat treatment, I give it to a vendor. So here I would say that I'm giving whole 250 quantity, whole quantity to my vendor. So I have to add my vendor. So this is a vendor which I have selected for heat treatment of this particular product. And I would give whole quantity, that is 250 quantity. And he takes, say, 2 working days to finish that. And if I send 250 quantity, I'm okay if I have to receive those in batches. So I'm clicking on that. I can always tell in what unit I want to send. So is it my purchase unit or issuing unit, or it is in quantity. So if it is in kg, if I am outsourcing any operation. If I'm sending that material in kg and receiving that in numbers, you can select it accordingly. Here I'm sending it in quantity and receiving it in quantity, my for heat treatment. So I would just say that, okay, this is my vendor, this is quantity, and expected time is 2 days, and I am sending and receiving it in quantity, and I'm clicking on whole quantity here. After that, I have to say, okay, do I want that if my 250 numbers are finished with cutting, after 250 are done with cutting, I want the system to schedule it on turning all those 250 products, so I can input it as 250. If I say, okay, that is my 50, so if I input operation dependency as 50, so once 50 pieces of cutting are done, those will be forwarded to the next operation, that is turning. So obviously by this your delivery time gets squeezed, and you can complete that order fast. So whatever you do on your shop floor, you can directly input it here in operation dependency quantity. So just for calculation sakes, I will keep it as order equal to order quantity, that is 250. So just to summarize, what I have done on this page is I have given the job card number, I have given the operation dependency, I have selected the machines, I have given the cycle time, the setup time, and I have selected the vendor and its select time. So once I do that, I am through with machine selection. So once I have done my machine selection, now I have to do my material planning. So I have to go to stores, go to my order material availability page. Here I will see that particular order, and just when I go to edit, I will see this is my SO number, this is my product code, this is the raw material that I need for this particular for manufacturing of this product. For this particular order, I need 125 kgs of my raw material, and I have the in stock that is that of 900 pieces. So what is based on the in stock? Yes, I do have the material, but my raw material already allocated is of 2435 kgs. So basically I do know that in the system I have the orders which require 2435 kgs of total raw material. So based on this figure, you can give the PO that this is what I need. You can raise a PO based on this quantity. So this is basically your requirement of procurement. So here I can say that, okay, from 900 quantity I can allocate this 125 to this particular order. But if I don't have sufficient material, I can say no and input by when this particular quantity, or typically this particular quantity, when I can get that, I can declare it in single date or in multiple dates with the breakup of my quantities. So here obviously in this case I do have the material and I say yes and I submit. So I can obviously plan this order as I have allocated the material to this particular order. So once I do this, I have to typically go to again planning section and pending order section. Now you can see that this order is in pending status and you cannot see any expected date of delivery or delay here. Now because this is because I have not yet planned and it is in pending section. Before planning this order, I would just like to tell you that we can always split the order. Suppose my customer is saying that this 250 quantity I need on 20th, but till 15th I want at least 100. So you can split your orders in 100 and 150 quantity and give two different delivery dates, and based on that the system will have the priority and you can plan accordingly. And you can allocate these particular job cards accordingly based on your delivery dates priorities. Right now I'm not going to split, but obviously this is the complete quantity that I need to serve to the customer. I would select this order and go to plan orders. Here it says the system asks you if you only the active machines will be loaded while planning. Are you sure you want to continue? Yes. So now all the machines are getting scheduled with this particular order. Now once I see it here, I will just go to search type, job card number. I want to see where my job card is going to get started. So I will select my Feb 1 job card and search. Once I search it, it will show me when I zoom to fit, the system will show me from when this particular job card is going to start. So on ACE machine, my job card is starting on 5th of March. Obviously, I know because my priority is not set yet, but based on the priorities the system has this machine is already busy till 5th of March. So on 5th, it has taken up this order. So on 5th, it will do on the ACE machine, it will do cutting. Once it does cutting, it will go to my drop for turning. After turning, it will go to my heat treatment. After heat treatment, it will go to my wheel for buffing. And after that, it will go to my hardness tester for hardness testing. And on 17th of April, this particular order will get ready. I'm okay with this right now. Obviously, I need to change the priority of the order and take it on priority. So now I would go to planning and go to schedule or in process orders page, and here I will get that particular order on the bottom. Like this is my order, and it says that on 17th of March this particular order will get ready. It is obviously 56 days delay. On this particular page, you can see that status is now scheduled. Now I have to change the status from scheduled to in process because currently I want to take this order on priority and I want to start cutting of this particular order. So I change my order status from scheduled to in process here, and based on that you can just see that the status is changed. At the bottom of the page, the status is changed. Now what I would do is I would just change my priority. Now you can see these two job cards, first two job cards, that is Jan 15, then Jan 14 and Jan 4_2 are on first, second and third priorities. Obviously these are okay. 20th was its last day and 16th is when it is going to get completed. I want this particular job card as well to be on the top, and I want this to be completed earlier. So I can obviously change the priority of this job card by changing this number. So obviously 26th number is my 260 number priority. So it's in multiples of tens. So first order is on 10 number priority. So I can select 9 and it will directly go upwards. Before rescheduling, I would just like to show you how my machines are currently loaded based on the priorities that I have given. So in reports, I have a daily schedule report where I see on ACE 3001 machine, Jan 15 number job card is scheduled, which is the scheduled quantity is 91.21 and start time and end time is given. But I know that this is not the way I want it to be. I want this particular job card, that is my Feb 1 job card, to be scheduled earlier. So what I will do is I have changed the priority here. I will force reschedule. Now once I force reschedule, what system does is it reschedules all the 26 orders that are in pipeline, that are in scheduled or in process, and it pushes all the orders whose priority is above this Feb 1 job card's priority number, and pulls this particular job card earlier on all the machines, and based on that update our expected date of delivery for each and every order. So anytime you get a new order, you change the priority, take it on priority, you get to know what changes on the delivery dates of other orders are happening. So this is what is the beautiful feature which this software helps you in getting. In current scenarios, you might be doing that, okay, once the customer calls you, you are going to your production supervisor and he goes to his operators and checks where the material is lying, and based on that he gives you feedback, and that is how you communicate it to the customer. But if any change happens, you have your delivery date obviously changes. So any downtime happens on the shop floor, anything happens, your delivery date changes, and you don't get to know. You have to ask it every time to your supervisor. This system helps you in getting that expected date of delivery on the real-time basis. So here now you can see, once I have rescheduled, the system shows that okay, on 19th I can be ready with this particular job card, that is Feb 1, and my schedule or my machine load plan will also get updated once I refresh. So here my job Jan 15 was loaded. Now I can go to daily schedule report and you can see on ACE machine Feb 1 is loaded now. So from 6:36, which is the current time, from 6:36 to 8 p.m. where my shift ends, I can do 45.41 pieces. So that is how the system gives you the complete plan. Now this is the daily schedule report, which you can also see on your mobile. Your supervisors can have a mobile app. They can log in by their own username and password. Once they log in, they can directly see what is his schedule today. So on what machine, what job card he has to do and how much quantity he has to do from what time to what time. So he can allocate this schedule to the operators, and those operators will do the production that way, and by the end of the shift or 2 times in the shift, your supervisor can make production entries. Now based on this schedule, we can make production entries on production in daily production input page. So you can, as you can see on ACE 3000 machine, Feb 1 job card is loaded with 45.4 quantity. Once you see the production page, you see the entire list of machines whose entries are pending. So this particular, as I said, my ACE 3001 is the machine where I am going to do on the first go, and my schedule quantity is 45.41 from 6:36 to 8. So obviously 1.5 hours I have in my hand. Suppose he cannot do 45 quantity, but he only does 30, and because he was arranging for some tool, like arranging for some consumable, so he can feed in a downtime of say 15 minutes or so. Whatever time this machine is down, he can input it here. He can give different inputs as well by adding new, and he can always delete it if he sees that okay, this was wrong. So he can, here I have given 15 minutes downtime because the operator was arranging for consumables, and I would close. So once I do that, I would see that okay, whoever my operator was who performed this particular task, I'm going to give his name here. Here you can see what entries I have done based on the job card number and the schedule time. I could not do my scheduled quantity. I have done only 30 because 15 minutes was downtime, and this is my production operator's name. I would just submit. Now once I submit, the system directly updates this particular quantity in pending for inspection, because I have said that I want QC. Typically I would say I want in process quality check, that is IPQC on this process. So once 30 pieces are done, they have to be quality checked. Now suppose the quality inspector accepts 29 of this 30 and rejects 1 because there was some reason like ovality, and he just submits. So this 30 quantity is now carry forwarded to next process. Typically this 30 quantity is not qualified, but 29 quantity is qualified for the next process, which is my bandsaw, which is my turning process. So if I can see here, I can see code of the machine. So based on the reports, I can just check this particular job card when it is going to get done on my machines. So I can just see here that today this particular job card is not there because till 8 p.m. 45 quantity are going to do, and I have kept operation dependency as 250 pieces. So once 250 pieces of my cutting are done, it will get scheduled on my turning operation on turning machines. So I obviously can do different job cards on those machines right now. So this is how system has given schedules, and once this update is done in the system knows that okay, it has scheduled for 45.4 pieces, but we have done only 29. So whatever impact of these remain there, system will automatically calculate that and reschedule those 16 pieces again for you in the coming slot. So this is how your delivery dates are also changed on real-time basis. So based on the schedules and the production entries you do, whatever difference is there, system understands that and gives you new schedule, and according to that it adjusts, it changes the delivery date plan, and that you have you easily have access to, and you can communicate to the customer at any point of time. So this is how we can make production entries for any vendor process. You can send and receive those job cards from stores vendor material management. Now from here I would just show I have made some entries in the system. So some vendor processes are completed. I would just show you those. So here you typically know which job card number, what product code, what is the operation, what is the vendor name, how much was approved quantity. Like in this particular job card, I had approved 250 pieces. Then what is my whatever pending quantity to be sent is there, because right now my previous operation of turning was not done, so my pending quantity is not there. So whatever pending quantity I have to receive, I can see that, and what should be my expected receiving date, you can see that here as well. So based on that you can track your vendors processes. Obviously you can directly go to stores details and you can directly send it to these 250 quantity to the vendor and receive it. This is a different job card obviously, which is not the one which we have inputted right now. So I have sent 250 pieces on 25th and received it at after 1 hour or so, because this was a dummy entry that I have shown. So you can input your returnable gate pass as well here. So you, based on this, you can get to know, you can tally how much I have sent to the vendor, and based on that how much I have received. So you know the balance amount, that balance quantity which is yet to be received from the vendor. For this particular thing you can directly go to reports and you can directly get a report on when on this material status vendor report. So coming to reports, we have typically two type of reports, like common reports and downloadable reports. In common reports, you can see order status report, where we have job card number, sales order number, then your product code, customer name, order quantity, how much quantity is completed right now, how much you have already dispatched from the system, how much percentage completion is there, what was the delivery date which we primarily committed to the customer, and based on the machine allocations and the priorities in our plant manager system, what would be expected completion date. This is the date which your marketing people will be most interested in. So you can directly go to details and get to know on which operation how much quantity is done, how much was accepted and how much was rejected. So from this report you can see my order quantity is 10, so it is complete till turning, but in heat treatment 9 was accepted and 1 was reworked. So obviously 5 was done on hard turning and 4 were accepted, 1 was rejected. So this is where this particular order is stuck. So you get to know this and you can take a decision and just tell your supervisors to please expedite that. You get to know your last production date as well. So when this entry was done, production entry was done, you get to know that. So this is how you get real-time status updates. So when you get to know when this production entry happened. This is the order status report. We also have sales plan and commitment report, where based on the customer sales order number or PO number, product name, job card number, order quantity, this is the commitment date. This is the first time when the system scheduled your order. This was the date that it had given. Based on the schedules, reschedules, downtime, rejections, because of those my delivery date has changed. So this is my updated delivery date as of now. So you can communicate this to the customer. Through this report you can understand that okay, for which customers how much date revisions happen. So you can get to know from this particular report. As I said, this is your daily schedule report. You get to know on which machine what job card I have to make, from what time to what time, and how much quantity, which operation and which product. This is a consolidated schedule report which typically a production manager is most interested in. He knows that okay, on what machine how much is my load. So based on that he can plan for his assets. So this is the consolidated schedule report. You can also see your login history. So this particular account was logged in through which IPs. You can track that as well. So this is just for your security or privacy purposes. So these all common reports you can see in your mobile app, and we have these downloadable reports which cannot be seen in your mobile app, but it can be downloaded from this web page. So typically in downloadable reports we have machine wise OEE, we have operator efficiency, we have machine downtime report, we have material status vendor report, we have machine booking summary. I will just show you what machine booking summary looks like. Just I have to select a month in which I need to check what is my machine booking. So once I open this particular Excel, I get to know a color coded, I get to see a color coded report where green means my machine is completely booked, red means my machine is completely idle, and white and a figure means for this time, this much of time, my machine was idle on that particular date. So this is my date, this is my machine name, and this is what is my status. So based on that, obviously you can reassign different machines. Like if my machine number 6 is available from 22nd, and this particular machine, that is machine number 5, is overburdened, so I can shift that burden from this machine to this machine, and I can squeeze my delivery dates and delivery times. This particular report can be very useful if you have to take a decision of procuring a new machine or adding a new machine in your system. So this particular report can be very useful. Obviously these red areas are pain areas for you, because if your machine is not allocated that much, so obviously this machine is of no use to you. So you have made an under investment. So this is how this machine booking summary shows you what exactly is the load on my machine. We have I would just like to show you my machine wise OE as well. So here you have to select different dates, a period of select the range of date, from which date to which date you want your report. You can just open it and you get to know that okay, for which machine what is my daily OE. So you have your availability, performance and quality factors, and this is the overall equipment effectiveness factor, which is the multiplication of these three. So this is how you get to know on first my machine bands on 901, my OE was 49%, and this was my 2 weeks OE. So monthly OE, weekly OE can be calculated by this report, and you have your complete analysis based on that. So obviously if your availability is up and performance is down, so your operator is obviously questionable. And if your performance is up, availability is up, but quality is down, so obviously he is not performing well in quality parameter. So you have to check on machine. Same way you get to have our operator efficiency, where you also can see availability, performance and quality factors for him, from which date to which date you want. Suppose I need a weekly report or a weekly operator efficiency, I can just click on that and open it. So I know on 1st of February this operator's efficiency was 90%. So Dinesh, he had 0% OE because his quality was 0. Everything he produced was rejected on this date. So you have this total OE as well, operator efficiency as well. So based on that your HR can take proper decisions. More reports like rejection analysis, rework analysis, rejected quantity report, any cycle time that you have already input in the system, updated in your system will give you a report if you need to revise that. So this cycle time deviation report can also be seen here. Whatever orders you have input in the system, you can trace back from which vendor the material had come and when that material was issued to shop floor. You can check that. You can also create scrap entries, and whatever scrap you have entered, you can always get a report how much scrap is generated through every order, and you can send that scrap to the vendor. So that facility also you have here. You get to know your process cost of any product. So if that particular order is profitable or was it loss making, you can uh, take that analysis from this finished goods inventory report. You can track your WIP on which operation or on which machine, how much quantity is lying. You can check through this WIP inventory valuation report. Some daily reports like what was my production, daily production report, what was my daily schedule, against the schedule, what was my production, I can check on these. Whatever reschedules I do, I can check it on reschedule history report as well. So typically when I say this particular plant manager software gives you complete planning, then based on that you can make production entries, quality rejections, quality checks, that is rejections and rework entries, downtime, and based on that you get to know new revised dates, and you get these series of reports. On the planning page, there is one more thing that you can just see, that if we come for implementation at your site, we would be more interested in all the where your live orders are lying. So we have this force complete option as well. So in force complete option, you can force complete operation wise till the operation that is practically over at your shop floor. So system will give you schedule for the remaining or pending operations only. So this particular button is used for at the implementation purpose as well. If you miss with the production entries on some days, like you have an audit and you cannot enter your production entries for 1 or 2 days, and you want to bring your production system to the practical level or the shop floors level, you can force complete those quantities as well. So from masters to customer section, that is inputting your orders, to material planning, to machine planning, planning the orders, getting the Gantt charts, then from getting the Gantt charts, then making the production entries. You can directly see that, use these all features from this software. In stores, you also get to have some features like GRN entries. You can issue the material to the shop floor. You can, as I said, you can send the scrap to vendor. You can check your raw material stock from raw material status, and obviously you can dispatch from the system from this page. So you can directly go to details, whatever job card you have. 100 is my completed order quantity and 85 is what I have already dispatched. So I would just dispatch more 5, and based on that, today is my date, and this is how I close my order. So that is how I can directly dispatch it from my system, and this is how my job card gets closed. From order input to dispatch and the production planning and everything like that, all these features you get to have in the plant manager software. Thanks for letting us give you a proper webinar and a training on how this plant manager software works. You can always come to this support button and raise your queries, give your screenshots or your any attachment that you have and submit it to us. We are always there to help you. So any queries that you have, or if you want, if you think you are interested in this software, you can directly get back to us on sales@plantmanager.in. You can directly mail us and we will get back to you soon. Thanks a lot for giving us your valuable time. Goodbye.